The average man nowadays sits on his phone and he doesn't spend time with his wife, and he complains when she asks him to do something, and he freaks out when something goes wrong. That's the average experience of a modern man. Is they're just complainers. They're gay. So the point of this video is going to be, how do we go from that modern man that's gay to be truthful, and how do we go to a man that's more traditional, that's more righteous, that's more waiting until marriage to have sex, that's more, as some would call it, alpha male. How do we do that? How do we get there? Let's discuss it. Okay, so the first thing is, what is love? How do we actually love our wives? How do we not complain about everything? How do we not be like the average man in terms of our relationships with our wives? Well, the first thing is that we have to define what love is. Love is, especially in a marriage, it's a total gift of self. So what do I mean by that? Well, a total gift of self means that you hold nothing back. You have no bounds to your love. You have no bounds to your gift of love, right? Okay, so what's the second thing? Love, secondly, is an irrevocable gift of self. So it's a gift of self that you can't go back on. A marriage is that. You can't go back on marriage. You can't go back on this love for someone once you marry them. Okay, so what's the final thing? Well, the final thing is that it's a fruitful gift of self. The only way that you can achieve all three of these things, the total gift of self, the fruitful gift of self, which is almost in some ways giving a child through marriage, that's fruitful, right? So irrevocable, total, and fruitful, how we get these three things is through a marriage. So how do we actually maximize our love, though? How do we figure out how to maximize this love with our companion? And like I've already said, it's through marriage. That's the only way to do it, is to broaden the aspect, the depths of the amount that you can actually give these gifts. How can you give more totally yourself to your spouse? And no one's perfect, so you're not going to be able to get totally there, right? How do you irrevocably give your gift to your wife of love? And how, finally, do you give your wife a fruitful gift of self? If you do all three of these things and you figure these things out and you give these things to your wife, you're going to have a happy marriage and a happy life, man. And you're going to sacrifice your happiness for the happiness of others and the happiness of your wife and your family. I hope this video was good, beautiful, and true. And until next time, see you guys.